Howdy, my name's Haley and this is my first week of internship with Bobtown Arts. So let's get started. On Monday was my first day and I was really nervous. I was really freaked out for no reason, but here I am back on the kiln yard. And there's the glaze studio. That's where I spent most of the day. Clarence got me started on comparing some samples of Old Forge Sunset. The new batch had turned out kind of dark, and so my job was to compare two different kinds of manganese to see if that was the problem. Next up is a clip of the sink. The sink becomes a little wildlife. There was a floating dead spider in there that was kind of intimidating. And then there's a thermocouple. Clarence kind of taught me how that worked and that the hot wire was the yellow one. And then the next image is one of Clarence's crocks that's used for fermentation, and that was really cool to learn about. There was a really big thunderstorm that day, which was kind of the first of many this summer. But it was really cool, but it kind of left me alone because Clarence was stuck in his house, so I didn't know what to do. So that didn't help my anxiety. So then on Tuesday, we got started over in the barn and we got out some clay that had frozen over the winter and it had dried out and it was just completely unusable. So we rehydrated it by putting it in plastic bags and kind of airlocking it in a bucket of water. We put some water in there. So we left that there, and then in the sink there was a beetle. I don't know what this beetle is called, but I thought it was really pretty. And then I was just kind of left to my own devices, so I got to throw for a little bit, and I was attempting to make more travel thermoses. And the clay pretty much didn't have any kind of grog, and I wasn't used to that, and so I stretched it more than it was able, and then especially after I put the lid on it, it was just not wanting to cooperate. So here's some clips of me squashing them while they're cracking and falling apart.
That was satisfying. I'm not gonna keep it. It's gonna fall apart. Sure. Good stuff.
Wednesday was kind of a slow day. When I got started, I went to go check on the bags of clay, and some of them were pretty squishy, so I pulled them out, and some of them weren't so much. And then I took some time to kind of wander around the farm. I was just drinking my morning coffee, kind of exploring a little bit more about my surroundings, and there's a squash, and then here I am in the greenhouse, and it was really therapeutic in there. It was quite nice, and it was kind of rainy, but Clarence was busy again. He was supposed to get a tractor that day, so he was busy doing that and doing phone calls and that kind of thing, so I walked around for a while. Look how big that is. It's so pretty. I love the orange flowers. And there's lots of bees there too. I really appreciate it. So then when I went to go throw, I took some time and I wanted to make a teapot again because I'm still really into the teapots. So I kind of made this sort of flat, small shape, and I like the little sections that I put on it. And I tried to take the whole day just to complete the whole teapot because I find that's a lot easier for me. That long thing, that is the handle. Yeah, big handle. Squatty pot, long handle. And then there's the lid too that I put with it. I put a twisty knob on it, and I didn't really have a purpose with that. I just did. Also, I had a couple problems with a few lids of just throwing it in there. But there's another still image of it. And yeah, I really like that the plates on it are they kind of seem like metal. And then I went to go make some mugs, and that was the first shape I made. I wasn't really into it, and then I made this shape, and I was obsessed, and I also felt like it really complimented it. And yeah, that was pretty much my day. I spent a lot of time really getting to know the clay, and I got a lot better with it. And then I went over to Elena's house, and there's her cat. His name's Goose. He's a really sweet little guy. Okay, so then on Thursday, here's some sketches that I did throughout the week that was kind of inspiring my work. I didn't really have a set vision yet, but I just had some shapes that I really wanted to try and some things I wanted to experiment with. And then here's a new set I was thinking about. I was also really inspired by this glaze called Sweet Pea. It was just a beautiful lime green. So I made these bowls with that in mind. They're stacking bowls. Here they are all together. They're really, really steep, so not super functional, but I really like them. And during my lunch break, my mom sent me this picture of her green tomato. It was just like that sweet pea glaze. And here's the sweet pea glaze for reference. I was thinking about glaze a lot, and so I was trying to pick some out for my teapot, which I didn't end up using because it ended up being high fire and these were low fire. And then also I looked at these nice gourd vines from Vicky's porch, climbed to Vicky's porch, but they're Vicky's gourds, and I really love the way that they twisted and the heart shape of the leaves. So that later inspired my carving of the teapot. So then it was Friday, and I spent a lot of time again working on my own projects. Here's a markup I did of, I was really wanting to experiment with plates, but I kind of wanted a square plate, so I was doing some math on how big of a plate I would have to throw in order to make it the size I wanted square. So here's my teapot fully constructed in all of its glory. I love how ostentatious that handle is. It's a dream. And here I am getting started on the gourd vines. Here's the outlines I did with a rubber tool, and then here they are continuing. Those are like the initial lines. This is like more detail work. And then I carved out the indentation of the leaves and then went in again with the carving tool and fixed it up. And then here I am sprucing it up, making sure all the little details are cared for. I also trimmed my cups today, and so that was really fun. I'm trying to get myself more familiar with trimming, and then here I am making the handles for them. They're pretty much one-finger handles, and they have little pads on the top, so they're easy to hold. And there, the two of them are together. I think they're really super cute. I also spent the day trimming my bowls, making sure they would all fit together and getting out the shape right, and that's kind of the bottom I picked for all of them. They don't all look exactly the same because the size didn't exactly go down smoothly. It was a little difficult trying to figure out how much clay I should use for each amount because it wasn't spread out evenly. But here they are stacked together and they look really, really nice. I didn't expect them to work that easily on the first try. There's the ittiest one getting trimmed up. That one was actually the most difficult because it was so small. It's hard to center. And then right before I left, I added little gourd leaves to the teacup, so there you go. And that was my week. Thanks for watching. Bye! So if you're Philip Wiggs, please stop and listen. Now you might be wondering, Haley, why did it take you so long to make both of these videos? Well, I ran into a big mess about trying to make a YouTube channel and it not wanting to work, and then trying to get this whole video editing thing figured out, and it was a mess trying to upload the pictures from my phone to the drive, and it was really difficult, and I was trying to move in, and it took forever, and I'm sorry it's so late. And then you may also be wondering, Haley, why is this called Dog Creek Pottery? That doesn't make any sense for you. Well, I was listening to Vicky and Clarence talk about all the studios in the area, and it seemed to be a running theme of it just being two random nouns. So I thought, meh, I'll just pick some. Because I don't really want it to be attached to my name, because my name could change. You know, I could get married, name gone. That would be lame. So I just chose Dog Creek. It's not that deep, and I'm just committing to it. It's a brand now. That'll be my brand in the future. It was that simple. It's done. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video.